Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about the next scenario where b is greater than c times sine of b but b is equal to c. That means the side length b is equal to side length c. That means the solution will be an isosceles triangle and angle b will be equal to angle c. Let me draw a pink box here to highlight the scenario. So that is the scenario that we are going to discuss through this example. Now here our example says that for a triangle the side length b is 6 cm, side length c is also 6 cm and the angle b is 30 degree. We have to solve for the triangle, meaning we have to find the three other attributes which are side length a, the angle a and angle c. Now here let's first quickly validate that yes, in fact b is greater than c times sine of b. Now as you can see, what is b? B is actually 6 cm. Now what would be c times sine of b? Well, c is actually 6 cm times sine of b, that would be sine of 30 degree, which is 1/2, that is actually 3 cm. So clearly 6 cm is greater than 3 cm. That means b is greater than c times sine of b. And of course b is an acute angle here. B is given as 30 degrees, so that is an acute angle. So now we are sure that there will be only one solution where the triangle will be an isosceles triangle. So let me make a couple of quick notes here, that b is an acute angle and here the side length b is greater than c times sine of b, and also b is equal to c, and the solution will be an isosceles triangle. Since it is going to be an isosceles triangle, what would be the value of the angle c? Well, using the property of isosceles triangle, we can say that because the side length b is equal to side length c, then obviously angle b would be equal to angle c. So we can say b will be equal to c, which will be equal to 30 degree. And now that we know both the angles, then obviously angle a would be equal to 180 degree minus the sum of these two angles, and that will be equal to 180 degree minus 60 degree, and that is equal to 120 degree. So we can clearly see that a is equal to 120 degree and of course c is equal to 30 degree. So the only remaining attribute that we have to calculate is the side length a. Now from the theory video we know that side length a for this particular scenario will be 2 times c times cosine of b. Now let's plug in the values here. So that would be 2 times c is actually 6 cm. So 2 times 6 times cosine of b, that would be cosine of 30 degree. And this is equal to 12 times square root of 3 over 2, and that will be equal to 6 times square root of 3. So we have found the value of a also. We can say that then a is equal to 6 times square root of 3. Here the unit of length is centimeter. So this is the value of the side length a, which is 6 times square root of 3 centimeter. So with this we have been able to find the three other attributes that we needed to find for this triangle. So the solution for this triangle is complete. We have been provided with the side length b, which is 6 cm, side length c, which is 6 cm again, and the angle b, which was 30 degree. And from there we have been able to find that the angle c is also 30 degree, angle a will be 120 degree, and the side length a will be 6 times square root of 3 cm. Now here I want to also show you that if we use the sine law, through the sine law also we should be able to calculate the angle a, and let's try to do that. Even though angle a has already been calculated, but still I want to show you how to also find the angle a using the sine law. So let's try that. Now what does the sine law say? Well, sine law says that a over sine a is equal to b over sine b. I'm just going to use those two ratios, and from here we can say that sine of a is going to be equal to a over b times sine of b. Now let's plug in the values here. What is a? Well, a is actually 6 times square root of 3 over b is actually 6 times sine of 30 degree, that is equal to square root of 3 times sine of 30 degree is 1/2, so that is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Now what is that angle whose sine ratio is square root of 3 over 2? Well, there are actually two possibilities. It could be sine of 60 degree, or also it could be sine of 180 degree minus 60 degree, the supplementary angle. and that is actually equal to sine of 120 degree. Now let's look at this picture. So we have two options here. We have an option for 60 degree or we have an option for 120 degree. Now which one we should take? To decide this, we need to look at the value of the angle B and C. We know that angle B has been provided as 30 degree. Now because the side length B and C are equal, so angle C is also 30 degree. So angle B and angle C combined together is 60 degree. And we know that the sum of all interior angles of a triangle is 180 degree. So then definitely angle A cannot be 60 degree. It has to be 120 degree. Then only the sum of the three interior angles will become 180 degree. So we have to go with this value of the angle A, which is 120 degree. And that is the correct answer. So when using the sine law, you need to be careful. So here, if you take 60 degree as the solution for angle A, then the sum of the interior angles will be 60 degree plus 30 degree plus 30 degree. So all of that will be total 120 degree, and that is not correct, because we know the sum of the interior angles would be 180 degree. So we definitely have to go with this option, meaning A has to be equal to 120 degree. Then the sum of the angles A plus B plus C will be 120 degree plus 30 degree plus 30 degree, which will be equal to 180 degree. So be careful when using the sine law. So let me make a note of the final answers here, that side length A is equal to 6 times square root of 3 centimeter, angle A is equal to 120 degree, and angle C is equal to 30 degree. And that is the solution for this triangle, of course along with the three other attributes that have been provided in the example, because a triangle has 6 attributes. Out of the 6 attributes, we have been provided with 3 of them, and then finally we calculated the other 3. I hope everything made sense here, and in the next video we are going to discuss about the third scenario. Hope everything made sense. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.